Hi guys, it's me, Risa. How you doing? I just want to start by thanking so many of you for subscribing and commenting and liking and sharing my YouTube channel with your friends, your family, your Weight Watcher peeps, and anybody that's on a health journey. We don't all have to be on the exact journey, and we're not. Our lives are very different, and the things that we choose to do are also very different. What we choose to eat, how we exercise, the amount of sleep, the amount of water, right? The goals that we choose, they're all very different. Our lifestyles are very different. Who we live with, where we live. Just so many factors play in to, our journey. And they're all very different. But they're also similar, right? So today I wanted to talk to you guys because I've been thinking about this a lot, is why do we self-sabotage? It's a biggie. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not an expert, but I do have experience. Yes, I do. And it starts many, many years ago. The other thing is not only that, that has to do with self-sabotage, but also people that binge, because I think it's all related. And we have to look at a lot of the reasons why we do things so that we can get past these habits, these behaviors that have put us in the place that we're in. Now, some of you are starting out on your journey. Some of you are in the middle of your journey. And some of you are maintaining. So wherever you are in your journey, it doesn't matter, because we all have a lot of similar issues. Okay? I know for me that it started when I was very young. And as a young girl, I used to go to camp every year, and I remember getting nice and lean. And I remember my doctor saying, oh, if she just lost like 5 pounds. I wasn't fat. I was maybe 5 pounds overweight. And I guess in my own head, I just thought I was so big. And I really wasn't. But it's really interesting, some of the things that people say or do that affect you long term. And I'm going to be 54. I know. And I still think about these things. So when I was younger, my mother, being the youngest of 4 children and having older sisters that like to eat, plus my mother loved to bake. And she had a freezer downstairs in our basement. And she would keep a lot of these things hidden because my sisters, not my brother, my sisters would tend to eat anything she made and finish it. And my mother had to get a key. I remember, hold on, switching hands. My mother had to get a key to lock the freezer. And it's funny because I remember this. I remember her keeping close eye on what I ate if we went to a family event. I remember her saying, just have 1 piece. And I used to think, but what if I want more? Why can I only have 1 piece? And she would tell me, so-and-so only did this and so-and-so only had that. And it drove me crazy because I never like to be compared to anybody. Nobody does. And my mom She did the best she can with what she knew, but I know she loves me and wanted me to be healthy. As a kid, you want to have whatever you want, right? The other thing is having older siblings is a good thing and not a good thing, because they would take you out for treats, especially when your parents are away. And when I became a teenager, all my siblings were out of the house except me. I was kind of like raised like an only child, because the age difference between me and my brother is 7 years, and my sister is 10 and 12 years. So by the time I was, I guess, 12, 13, nobody else was living in my house except my parents and I. When my sister had her own apartment, we're very, very close. It was my getaway place. And I used to go there a lot. And we used to have these parties. I know. And it was like we were celebrating without any real celebration. I mean, it wasn't our birthdays. It wasn't, you know, a real holiday. But I would go grocery shopping. And I realized now that my sister had suffered from depression. And she would work and then she'd be off, and then she'd work and then she'd be off work for long periods of time. And looking back, I realized, being in social services and working in mental health for a long time, that at that time I didn't realize. And I would go shopping and I would bring over all kinds of stuff, and we would have these little binge parties. All the things that I wasn't allowed in my house. And so I had a binge partner who would eat with me. So sometimes we eat alone because we're embarrassed. We don't want other people to see what we're having. I don't know about you guys, but I used to go to McDonald's drive-through and I'd say, oh, I'm ordering for my daughter or for my friend. And I would order all kinds of stuff. But it was always for me. But I was too embarrassed. And of course, like a lot of you, eat alone, in your car, in your room, late at night when nobody can see you. I know all the secrets, trust me. So, you know, sometimes we eat with people, sometimes we eat alone. But why do we do that? That is the key. Again, there could be tons of reasons, because even though we may have similar problems or similar issues around why we binge, why we overeat, why we form these kind of habits. And they're things that we do repeatedly. And the only way we can stop is by changing. And that's not always easy, depending on why we're doing it. Okay, I'm switching hands because my hand's getting tired. And I definitely need to buy myself a selfie stick. So, you know, there can be a lot of reasons. Some people were emotionally, physically, sexually abused. I'm not saying you were or are. You've had some kind of trauma in your life. It could be even transitions. You know, you're moving, you're just starting a new job. You're starting a new relationship. You're in a relationship that you're not happy with. You're having, you know, other kind of issues in your life. There can be umpteen reasons that play into why you're overeating or you're sabotaging your journey. Again, I can't guess what they are. And sometimes you may not even realize what they are. Weight Watchers, for me, has helped me in a lot of ways. But for those of you that are really suffering, if you have depression, that you're very sad, you have high anxiety, you know, these are very real problems, issues that going to meetings isn't going to solve. And my recommendation is that you speak to your doctor and you get help. My background is social services, and one of the things that we learned in school was that it is really healthy to talk to people. Talk to a social worker, talk to a therapist, talk to your doctor, talk to professionals that can get to the root of why you're doing what you're doing. I'm not saying everybody has those kind of problems. You know, some of us could be in loveless marriages. We can be in having problems with our children. Maybe some of us have children with special needs. I know there's a lot of you in our group that have children with autism or other maybe physical, social, emotional problems. Your spouse may. You may have an elderly parent. You may have a sibling who you're looking after. And I can relate because I have an elderly mother. I have a sister who I love dearly. And I work with kids with autism. That is not going to give me the reason to self-sabotage. But for some people, you know, stress leads to doing things like emotional eating. And why do we emotionally eat? Well, those are some of the reasons. Sure, food is comfort. Food we celebrate for holidays. Food we just eat when we're bored. It tastes good. It doesn't talk back. We think of it as our friend. Sometimes, like I said, we do it alone. Sometimes we do it with other people. Just checking the time to make sure that I'm not talking too much. So, you know, there's a lot of reasons. Again, it's really important to look at why, how, what, when, where, all the W's, people. Learned that in school. And think about it. So again, you know, I have a house where my husband and daughter have all kinds of snacks. And sometimes I have them, but most of the time now, because I'm conscious of it, switching hands, I make sure that I have the things in the house that I can have. Not that I can't have what they're having, but I want to be able to enjoy things that I don't feel guilty about having, right? So you have to make sure that you have the things in your house so you can grab your snacks instead of their snacks, right? You know I'm right. You know what I'm talking about. And that helps a lot, trust me, because my husband has a lot of things in the living room. And now I've put unsalted nuts. I have my Weight Watchers snacks, some sugarless candies, different things. And I keep things everywhere, in my purse, in my car. And I've told you guys this many times. Being prepared is key, especially if you're an emotional eater. And you also know what you can and can't handle in your house. And you have to be strong, and you have to tell people that they need to help you as well. You can help yourself, but we need support. We need people that aren't going to sabotage us, right? We need people that are going to cheer us on and make sure that we are staying on track and we are focused. So, I hope I've given you a lot of food for thought, no pun intended, to help you. Again, I don't have all the answers, but I do know that setting small and realistic goals will help. Keeping focus, going to meetings will help. Keeping track of what you're eating, all those bites, licks, and tastes, BLTs, will help. Having the right foods, planning, preparing will help. Getting the psychological help, the support from groups, from me, from your doctor, from your therapist will help. Some of you may need to be on medication. That will help. I'm not saying for all of you, but for some of you, you may need that. And don't be ashamed, because mental health is just important as your physical health, if not more. And trust me, I know about that because I have family members, many family members that suffer from various mental health disorders. So I do know about it, and I know what I'm talking about with regards to that. Start slow, and remember that you can do this, you will do this. You have the power, you have the control, and you have me for support. So I hope this video is helpful, and you get the help that you need. And remember that anything is possible, and you can do this, okay? So I'm gonna go for my power walk now, and enjoy whatever you're doing, whenever you're watching this. I'm with you, here to support you and love you, and tell you that you are amazing, you're beautiful. You're more than the number on the scale. You have so many incredible qualities. Of course, I dropped something, just like in my other videos. I dropped my water. Make sure you have water when you're out walking, especially if it's really hot out. Okay, love you guys, and don't forget to continue to subscribe. Visit me at Weight Watchers Tips and Recipes by Risa, and tell everybody, okay? Mwah. Bye, and subscribe. Love you guys.